All right, we are live.
All right, what's up, everybody? We're going to start doing these one-on-one type recorded sessions, just kind of help everybody out because I was doing a couple of live sessions and some people were not showing up to live sessions and just ended up watching the recordings anyway. So I think if we get more interactive, I think it'll bring people a lot more value, and you'll kind of be able to see other people's one-on-one sessions because we're going to post them all in the group before you do your own. So I think that'll maybe help just to kind of know figure out what you want to ask and go over. I just want to try to bring a little more value to the group. So um, I'm just sitting here with Adrian, and we're gonna start going over some charts that he has up on his screen, and he's just kind of direct me at what we want to talk about, and then we'll just go over that. So hope you guys enjoy. Go for it, bro.
Cool, man. So right here I got my AUD USD set up. Um, so like let's say we were to start this blank, right? Would you start by putting like your levels, like your support and resistance levels, like right here that I got?
Yeah, I would. Is that area right there? Is that I can't see the times? Is that Asia?
Well this is here. Let me. So
Hang on, that's AUD US dollar, right?
yeah, it's AUD USD.
Okay, let me just go to that instrument on my chart.
And I'm on the daily for now, but I'm gonna zoom in.
You on the daily chart?
Well, no, I don't. I'm just doing that to show you because these lines, where these
Oh,
lines
okay.
are, they're this is where the start of Asia is on every line, or when the start.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. I got you. Um,
So no.
okay. Huh. I would say that pair looks like it might make a retracement back up tonight, but I don't know.
So yeah. So like, what I did was I put my levels on my support and resistance. Sorry, and then I just have like different types of lines for different ones. So like this one right here was on the I could see it from the daily, so I put it on as like a thicker line, and then right here, if you can see, I have like a thin dotted line, and that's because I saw this on like the hour chart.
Yeah.
Um, and so I have my support and resistance. Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn that off. 1 second.
No, that's all right, man. Don't worry about it. What's so what time frame is that on? Are you still on daily? Yeah, you're still on daily.
Yeah, this is the daily AUD USD. Oh shoot. This is the daily, and then so you can see like they're pretty clear on the daily, and then there's can you see this one, this small
Yeah, I can see
line?
that.
Yes, that one you can see more clearly from the hour chart right here. So that's kind of why I put
Right.
that. And I've been watching this has been going down. So if I zoom to the 15, you can kind of see this trend line from the hour, but if you zoom in on the 15, you can see it like more clearly, you know?
Yeah. So that top blue and bottom blue, is that your Asia?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
today,
Cool.
like, I went in, and I just because Asia starts at this line. This is like,
Right. Right. Yeah. That I used to do that too, man. Like before I had I don't know if I'll send you that information still, but they actually have indicators. Like I don't use indicators anymore, but they have what's called a blue box, and the blue box actually, instead of you having to move your lines, the blue box is like it's not a line at the top of the bottom, but it's a box for the range, and the box just gets
oh,
bigger
I think
as
I
they
think
blow up the range.
yeah, I think I actually have that. So like, this is my AUD USD without like indicators, and then this one. Can you see this one or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this one is my one with the high and low of the day. You see that? Like,
Yep. Absolutely.
is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
More or
Exactly.
less.
Yeah. So we're at the low of day right now. So I don't know. That's why I was saying it might reverse up, but with the only thing I'm concerned about is that downtrend that it's been in lately. It's just massive.
Mm-hmm. And like this is the thing that keeps giving me my.
But if it would be a reversal, it would be today because we're at the time of day or the time of week we're in. So even if it's like a 40, 50 pip reversal before it goes more down, that's a decent enough reversal to take a trade off.
Okay. And then, so you know how this is the Asia consolidation, and
Hmm.
then did a little dip. So are we looking right now for something that's going to give us a hint that it's going to shoot back up? Is that what we're waiting for?
Yeah, but if it were me, I would just be watching this consolidation, because right now, the last, especially today, the markets just seem really kind of subtle and slow. So a
Okay.
lot of times these manipulations, when the market's moving fast, it's because there's a lot of money behind it. But it'll still have those same moves, but when the market's just kind of slow, they'll just be a little bit more subtle and slow. So even if this kind of M or W bottoms down here, it'll chop down here on the low of day for a while, and then just move up. And it'll probably move up to, if it does move up, I'm thinking like 0.8026, like to take out the stops above that area.
Point.
And the reason being that I came up with that number is just because whenever these guys stop hunt down in position and move up, they can't just dump their position anywhere. They have to have a position dumped into liquidity. And liquidity is above and below former price. So if that makes sense.
Okay. Wait. So when that number you were saying, is that
What
like
point?
a price? Is that a price?
Yeah, point.
8026 or something?
Yeah,
That's way up here though.
yeah, I know. But hang on. I'm on the 1 hour. I'm sorry. So if they did move back up, I would think they would be at 0.7915 or so, 13 to 15. Sorry, I was stuck on that 1 hour chart, but you could see the reason that I'm coming up with that number is because if they chop down here and move back up, then they need to dump somewhere in liquidity, right, before they continued back down. And you can see that same pattern that happens, through the history of the chart.
Okay.
Because like back on 1700 yesterday, you see that big move up at 5 p.m. yesterday. They got a big move up where then it chopped and then went back down, chopped again, and then back down, back down. So
All
we're
right.
probably looking for a move up from this area, but you know, no more than like 79.15 or 79.12, somewhere around that area. If you hold your cursor over it, you can see why, because it's just above the old consolidation.
Like
So
79, somewhere around here.
yeah, so it's just below the old consolidation. So what happens is where there's old consolidation, there's liquidity built up in there. So when they're holding a position, they need to dump it into liquidity, not just randomly into the market, right? Because they need to, if they're buying, if they're bought, they need to sell into liquidity. Because if you just sell into nothing, then the price is going to retrace and actually take you out of the money more. You're not going to make as much.
Okay. So when
So
it
if you
comes,
look at a chart overall, you can see that you know when you see a choppy chart, you can see that the chop goes from liquidity point to liquidity point, just back and forth until you have those big trend moves 1 to 3 times a week. And then the rest of it's chop. It's just what they do.
okay, so would you not recommend would you recommend keeping an eye on this for tonight or no?
Yeah, definitely keep an eye on it, but I wouldn't take a trade right now just because it's it could sit here and make a bottom for the next 2 3 hours and then not move till morning.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, but
All
I would definitely keep an eye on it though because because if it's gonna retrace since we've been in a big down move on this pair, and you can see it did go three levels of dip.
boom,
You
boom, boom. Right. So
uh,
I'm thinking it should. It's been
from
a
that
while.
from that chop, you got one, and then you got chop, and
And you
then
got
two, and then you
two.
got. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I see it. And then if you go
One.
to the 1 hour, like it's been a while since it had a up.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is that liquidity down below here, they're stacking up right next to it, right? So the time I would enter is if I were you, I would put an alert on my chart at
Uh-huh.
0.7829,
Let's
right?
see.
That way when they dip again, if they hold that level and don't break it, buy it.
That's around right here. Oh, I got you.
You see, it's right around that pin 7829.
You're saying so somewhere around like right here.
Exactly, because what before they move up, they're probably gonna come back down, dip one more time, hit the stops on the low, and then go up. And they may only retrace like 30, 40 pips. But if it goes from 7829 to 7910 and hit that liquidity up there, then it's a decent little move.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I guess the next one, I've been doing this for all of them. So like this one right here is the Euro USD. What is this, 15? So yeah, I had Asia consolidation. Um, and then this is where I thought it would kind of go either up or down and it would spike. And then the red is where I thought, or in this range is kind of where like it would like go back down or go back up, depending on,
Right.
So
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
yeah, I thought I was gonna go maybe up here and then we'd wait and then it'd make an M and then go back down. But this one just kind of went up and down. Would you consider this still consolidation from Asia, like Asia consolidation?
Where we're at now?
Yeah, because I mean, it didn't really move much
No.
higher.
Wait. We're still talking about the same pair, right?
No, this is Euro USD.
All right, let me get to that then.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I changed
Oh, I
it.
thought you were talking about the AUD pair we were talking about. I'm like, no, I think if anything, that was the stop hunt where they
Yeah,
dipped.
yeah,
But the Euro USD,
I'm just gonna like I'm going through the major ones like.
yeah, I got you. Yeah, we're still in that. In my eyes, we're still in that Asia chop on Euro USD. I mean, you could tell from 1.1265 to 1.130. It's just it's nothing's going on in that in my view.
Yeah, I
Let's
gotcha.
let's look at some Great British Pound stuff because London's key for a Great British Pound. Like a lot of this manipulation that we're looking for, you're going to see a lot of times in pound dollar and pound yen.
Oh, okay. In pound yen too. I don't even have one of those. Okay, does pound yen and pound dollar do they kind of move like with each other, like alongside each other?
Yeah, they usually um, stay in sync. You know what I mean? But not always, because sometimes you're going to have yen news.
Oh, okay.
in sense that the reason that they move in the same direction is because the pound is the dominant pair. It's on top, right? So if it's pound dollar, then if you've got pound yen, you've got them in the same setup, really, because the pound is first, right?
Mhm.
Because what happens is it's inverse. So pound is inverse to dollar and pound dollar, and then pound is inverse to yen and pound yen. So you're kind of in the same situation there, right? Unless there's some kind of yen news, Japan changes rates or Japan, has some sort of bad news, an earthquake or something, then you would see it move in the opposite direction. You know what I mean? But it
Yeah.
has to be some sort of news announcement or something that to cause it to do that. I mean, like in a perfect world, though, pound dollar and pound yen will move in the same direction always.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
why you always, and I always tell everybody this, and they don't listen to me, but always keep an eye on forexfactory.com, because on the front page of forexfactory.com, they'll show you all the news for that day, all the times, set it to your time zone, and then anything that's really important, they'll have a red folder on the listing. Click on the red folder, read what it's about. It'll tell you, so just stay out of the market when you see red folders. If you're already in a trade and you're profitable, close it out for the profit.
Well, it's saying that euro. There's a bunch of euro news right now.
Yeah, come on, let me see. I don't even have it up right now.
There's actually a lot of news in general today. Euro, GBP, USD, NZD, JPY. Okay.
Yeah, we got. Well, not yeah. Euro news already happened.
It's
Um,
still happening though, right? It's just not the red one.
yeah, you don't really have to pay any attention to anything that's not red.
Okay. It says all day
Yeah,
though,
you don't have to worry about it. If it's not red, then don't worry about
but the red one says all day.
it. Yeah, so tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m., you got the U.S. dollar unemployment claims. That might do something, but I doubt it because the FOMC already happened this week. So the FOMC is the federal stuff. The Fed meets about
Hmm.
interest rates and different things, and that's some of the biggest news you ever want to be. Uh, I guess you ever want to pay attention to because I posted a book, How to Beat the Forex Dealer, in the group.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you could see that in the group, but you definitely need to read it. It's one of the best trading books I've ever read.
Okay, let
But
me.
they teach you how to trade FOMC and stuff because the forex dealers, they use FOMC to clear the boards, basically wipe out everybody's money on the board, and then just start the day out or end the day at the same place it started.
Wait,
So
you
if
said
you
FLMC,
yeah, FOMC.
and then you have this in the group files section.
No, it's just scroll down in the group. I posted the book like probably 10 times. Just a book file that I posted. It's uh, it's like I don't remember the guy's name. His name's like Augustin or something, but it's called Beat the Forex Dealer,
Hmm. Okay, I'll keep an eye
and
out.
it just teaches you all that type of stuff. Yeah, if once we get off here, I'll send it to you. You don't have it.
Cool.
Wait, what's your email, dude?
Here. Let
Yeah,
me.
send it to me in chat if you don't mind.
Yeah, that might be easier.
It's literally like no joking. All joking aside, it's literally like the best book I've ever seen about forex. It basically teaches you what really is going on in that whole situation. Okay.
Okay. I'm on GBP USD now, by the way.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Pound dollar.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Let me know when you're on the charts too.
Okay. Hang on. Okay.
Dang, it's fallen.
What's that?
When we started talking, it was like up here, like near the trend line, and like it's just been falling.
Pound dollar.
Yeah. So, I
Yeah.
mean, do
So
you?
we'll look at it too. I mean, it's dropped 51, 59, 51. Yeah, well, it dropped outside of the Asian range, so this might be the stop point for retracement. So it's in the same sort of position that the other pair
In
was in.
the
Yeah,
okay. Um, Real quick, you said you know how sometimes this is like the fake out, like the stop hunt, and then it goes up, and then it forms an M, and then it goes back down.
right.
Would this be that, or is this part of the W?
Like from what we're seeing right now,
Hmm.
See, this is where it gets tricky, is because you see how at the top side it came out of the Asian range and pinned the high.
Oh yeah, this might be it. You're saying?
Yeah, well, this is one of the things that I was talking about earlier today. This is not a W bottom. This could very well be just a continuation down, but it tricks you because people are going to think it's a W bottom. Because a lot of times people are looking for those stop hunts that are like 20 to 50 pips, you know. But sometimes all they do is pin the high or pin the low and then move in the trend, right? So look at what time is that? Like midnight, 12:30. See that big pin
Right here, yeah.
on the 15-minute chart? It's a pin up, right? So instead of M topping, remember a pin or a railroad track or whatever can still be an M top. It's just a lot faster than it needs to be.
You're talking about the stop hunt, right?
Yeah, so that is the stop hunt. See that pin high?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of it taking a bunch of time to M top, the only reason that they move it off that level like that is because they just pin that level and that's all they need. So then they move down. So we'll see what happens. But these are one of the most. I'm glad you mentioned that, because these are one of the most tricky things that can happen, because to the untrained eye, this could look like this was the stop hunt, like what we're doing right now is the stop hunt, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So now you're just sitting here. Maybe you sit here and wait for another 2 hours to buy, right? And then it just drops the level and goes another level, right? When in actuality you could have made your money way earlier in the night just selling that pin, because the time of day was right. And even if it does W bottom and move up right now, the trade of the night was, if you're trading London, the trade of the night was fading that pin, because then you're out of the market, you know, and you just go live your life, whatever, you know what I mean? So instead of waiting for this bottom to fail or form up perfectly, so because that's all it is they didn't need as much liquidity as they need when they form an M top. Because an M top, all that is accumulation. It's the same principle as Asia is when they go back and forth, go back and forth. When they M top, that's all they're doing is consolidating back and forth to accumulate the contracts for the move they're going to make. And that's it.
So the thing though, but like for example, like you're talking about the whole market maker thing, like how Steve Morrow does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's basically the same thing you're talking about. So wouldn't this still have to shoot up at some point? Like this was the stop hunt.
No, it doesn't have to at all. That's where it gets tricky. Is like sometimes it's not like an M top or a W bottom. It's just like a pin or 2 pins to the high or 2 pins to the low, you know, and that's all it is. And then they'll just move it the whole night. Now, before I learned properly, I would stay up all night waiting for this to form a W bottom, right? Only to wait 2 hours and then it formed and me take the trade. Then they just go push down another level, right? And then I think that, oh, they're just pushing another level, so I got stopped out. I should buy again. And then they do it again. And the whole time I just didn't realize that they just pinned the high to hit the stops, and the actual move was down, not up. You know what I mean?
Well, like I guess what I'm asking is, like you can see my mouse, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I was thinking was, you were saying like it goes down, it forms a W bottom, and then it goes up even more, and then it consolidates back into Asia.
Yeah, but
right?
when I told you that, I didn't realize about that pin at the top.
No, but then what I was saying is this pin, like from what like I've seen like on YouTube or from what you've said too, is like sometimes they do this to just fake you out even before they form that. Like they do this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But then that's the stop hunt instead of this. Instead of this move down being the stop hunt, that actual pin to the high is the stop hunt. This used to trip me up all the time. So I'm glad you mentioned it. And I'd miss out on tons of trades because of this. And what happens is then I think that move down was a stop hunt, right? And then so I'm just waiting for this W bottom to form, and then it never does, or if it does, then it fails and drops down another 20 pips, right? And you end up losing that trade when you could have taken that fade off the pin and making your 30 to 50 pips and then be done for the night, you know? It's just it's one of the biggest mistakes I made, and at the same time I thought, you know, like all this stuff I've learned is full of it, like it's not working, but I just wasn't seeing, you know, what needed to be seen, and that was one of the main reasons right there is small mistakes like that.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just come back to this and see how it's doing a little later. Did we do? So we did Euro USD, right? That's still consolidating. USD JP. Oh wait, one thing. Back to the GBP USD. So when I zoom out to the daily, maybe I shouldn't go that far. I have a trend line drawn. Do you draw like trend lines too, or like do you just go simply off like
No, I just go off the manipulation.
Okay. All right, then I guess. Oh, I just won't pass that one. Let's see. So on USD JPY, I don't know. This one I didn't really see much of an Asian consolidation, unless this is the Asian consolidation, but that's last night.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like this last couple days for Asia has been a little weird.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, and it'll be like that, man. It's not always, unfortunately, not always like perfect.
But like when it does this, so like this is, what time is this? This is so this is Asia. So this is what? This is like 2 p.m. This is like the middle of the night. That means. So when in the middle of the night this consolidation happens, does everything just get shifted a little bit? Because look, this is kind of that. This could be that stop hunt that we were talking about, right? Right here.
Hang on, let me look.
Oh, actually, no. This could be. This could. Oh, wait, why is this pink?
I can't see.
Okay, are you looking at your charts or my charts right now?
I'm looking at yours. That range that you just put. Did you just put?
Yeah, so
No,
maybe it could be like the Asia range kind of thing, right?
Right.
And then with this, but it's not. Like the Asia range should have been right here. But what I'm asking is, does everything just get shifted, like pushed back? Because if this is seen as a consolidation, maybe this pin could have been like the stop hunt. And it kind of the W.
Times that move down. I can't see the time.
Well, no, see this right here, this dotted line is when Asia starts every day. So this is like 0-0, like when the new day starts, you know, like the new day as far as like.
Okay, where's Asia? Hold your cursor over where Asia started that day that we're talking about.
Well, Asia should have started right here, but in this case, since USD JPY has been acting where the consolidation seems to be happening here, which is like middle of the night to early morning. And then this is like this dotted line right here, that's 2 p.m. Pacific or 5 Eastern right here.
Yeah, because you're right, they do shift up the times, you know, like Asia it could be New York and then London be New York, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so, or
so
they
what
could,
I'm saying is, do you think that's the case? Because the thing is, there's consolidation right here. Maybe this was like a stop hunt or something. It seems to be like a W bottom right here.
Yeah, it seems to be seasonal sometimes. Like if it goes Asia for a while, you know, then they'll switch it up to where the consolidation sometimes happen in London, where you won't have any action in London for 2 months, you know.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
that definitely does happen all the time. But that's good that you spotted that because that's what you need to know. It's like when you start spotting that, then you say, okay, well I need to switch up my trading times. I need to start trading during London or start trading during Asia because that's when the moves are happening. And London's acting more like Asia. So
I gotcha. So yeah. So would this be the W bottom? Because like, look, it dropped in here. It dropped, right? And then it formed this. It pinned the low, and then it came back up, and then it went down, but it didn't. It didn't go as low, and then it just shot up, and then maybe this is consolidation again.
yeah,
Would you say that's it? Or you can
yeah.
even say that's actually weird because you can because it's really choppy. So I don't know. It's hard to make
Yeah.
it out because you can
Well, a
you
lot of
can
the
look at
times that too, when you're trying to see stuff in that if there's really nothing to be seen, that's probably a day you should probably take off. When it's choppy because it's hard to read the chop.
yeah.
And a lot of times, what you'll try to do is you'll get in on a good trade. It'll be up 30 pips. So now you're going to hold on to it for the next, for the last little push. And what will happen is it'll come run back all the way down on you or up on you, and you'll either lose all your profit or actually lose money. After waiting up for it the whole time. And that's just because you're in a chop range and you shouldn't have been trading anyway. So,
Okay.
excuse me.
So we did AUD, USD, Euro USD. What are some other, like, I got NZD USD, I got Euro AUD, and I got GBP AUD, but
When you're first getting into this, you should stick with Great British Pound US Dollar, Great British Pound Yen, Euro Dollar, US Dollar JPY. Um,
so the four
like
ones we just went over, basically.
yeah, you want to stick with the majors because the reason is they have all the liquidity in them, meaning those are the ones the bank trade most, so they're going to have the most manipulation chances. And all those NZD stuff, those are cross pairs usually, and they're not as liquid. So typically you won't see the moves that you'll see. But another good one is the dollar CAD.
Oh, yeah? It's
Yeah,
pretty,
it moves subtly, but it's good to learn off.
okay, I can add that one.
And then also the dollar Swiss, dollar CHF.
That one just went crazy recently, so I just stayed
Well,
away
they
from it.
had Swiss news.
Yeah.
I remember one time when I was first, I was learning to trade. I was trading the Euro Swiss, Euro CHF, and the Bank of Switzerland did a peg on the Swiss, meaning that the bank couldn't allow that pair to go below a certain level. So it shot up 2,000 pips in like minutes.
That was like 2 weeks ago, right?
No, it happened again a couple weeks ago, but the first time it happened, it was like double the movement, and it was pretty crazy.
Let me see. So you wouldn't go over, so you don't want to go over the other ones? What other pairs do you want to watch out for tonight then?
I just stick with the majors, man.
Okay.
Yeah, just stick with the majors. Yeah, the Euro Swiss the other day went from if you want to go on that pair, we could show it. It's the Euro CHF. It went from 1.19 to 0.75. It's
Yeah, it
ridiculous.
is.
I don't even know what news came out, but that's why it makes the chart look like that too. Those really compressed bars
Yeah.
is that because it moves so substantially that it just compresses the rest of the action. But I mean, it went 95 to it went 95 to 74, then retraced all the way back up in 4 hours, and then chopped around. It's just so that's the kind of stuff you gotta keep in mind because that kind of stuff can blow your whole account if you don't have any stop loss orders in.
Right. Oh, I
I
think
mean,
I just
that's
saw something interesting.
1.1999 to 0.7480. That's insane, bro.
Yeah. No, I was watching the charts. Like I was up when that happened, and they just went. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So here, this is the Euro CHF. So would you say this is? So this is Asia. It goes up. It pins the top, and then just comes down. Is this what it is? And then it kind of consolidates again. Is this what we were looking for?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. See, but my question is, how do you know when this happens? Like, how do you know it's time to go down? You know, because this one was pretty immediate. So, how do you know when it's time to actually go down? You know, or would you say right here it's like it
Well, no,
pinned
like
it?
on that chart, you would want to take the trade up because they pinned it low. Because that's the thing I used to make mistakes on is like waiting for that perfect setup when all it was they pinned the stops low with 1 bar or 2 bars and then made them move up, or vice versa. You know, pinned high and move the market down. So that's one of the tricky situations you got to watch out for. See that pin out of the consolidation. So
Are you
when you
talking?
see that pin, that's the stop hunt.
But it doesn't really go out of this range though. It's still in the
Yeah, I
bull.
know, but sometimes it's not out of the range. It just goes barely out of the range because it's not needed. 'Cause it's all about liquidity. They don't just do it because they're like, oh, we got to go outside the range our 20 pips tonight or 50 pips tonight. It's just because that's all they need. If they already have the contracts accumulated and they accumulated them in Asia, then there's no reason to push the market down because when they move the market in the opposite direction, they spend money to do that.
Right.
So they're not going to spend extra money to make less money, you know?
If they don't need to. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, so it's not needed. That's one of the things about this kind of trading is like you just you learn that shit over time and and you just kind of get it ingrained in your head, but it took me a long time to figure that stuff out because I'm like what you kind of just asked. I'd have not thought anything of that, and then waited for that move up and probably got killed trying to fade that move up.
But the thing is, okay, so you're saying you're supposed to catch it here, but what I was thought was we're supposed to catch it on the way down.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
So like you're saying that it's better to catch it on its way up. So put a buy, go long to catch it up. But shouldn't aren't we looking for the M to form and then for it to catch the way
Yeah, but
down?
sometimes the M doesn't form. The M is just a pin. Like all the M is hitting stops, consolidating, and accumulating contracts. So sometimes a pin is all that's needed, right? So why would you want to wait for all that to go up and then wait for all that bullshit to form? Now, I mean, look at the time. It's like, what time frame is that?
15-minute time frame.
Okay, so, you know, you're waiting around for 2 hours for all that shit to form at the top, and then fading that. You know, that's all I'm saying is because a lot of times what will happen is people won't recognize that pin as a stop hunt, and then they'll keep trying to fade that. I mean, because this looks like it's pretty obvious and easy, but this is like in hindsight, so it always looks that easy. But in reality, like it's just easier to take that pin. That way you're profitable and you can just go live your life and not have to worry about it. But you could see it went all the way up, and when they came back down, they took profit at the liquidity level, just like I said, you know, like below the old low, and then moved all the way back up. So that's one of the main points I want to make is that a lot of times I would miss that pin to the low or pin to the high, where you can catch an easy move, and then take your money, and then you don't have to worry about whatever else is going on. Because the worst thing to do is sit up for 4 or 5 hours trying to wait for that M top when a move already happened. And then you just don't realize it till the next morning when you've been up all night. So
But you wouldn't be trying to catch this down either though?
Well, I mean, in a perfect world, I mean, yeah, but all you're trying to get is some pips out of the market every night. You know, not sit in front of the screen for 12 hours a day. I mean, for me,
Right. But in the USD, in this example though, this is where's the AUD USD we were looking at? Right now we're waiting for it to come down though, because it already happened, right?
which pair are you talking about?
The AUD USD, the very first one that we found, or that we went over.
I don't know. It may just keep going down. I don't know. The thing is like these just because the market's moving in a certain way, like these manipulation moves don't happen every night. You know, so like I would stay away from the pair completely now that it's breaking down to new lows.
Mm-hmm.
Because you probably, if there was going to be a move, you probably already missed it. So AUD US dollar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just stay away from it now because it's already moved down. So,
Hmm.
but I would still keep an eye on pound dollar.
Are you thinking it's gonna go up or what?
Well, no, just keep an eye on it because remember I mentioned that pin to the high. It pinned the highest, so let's see if it drops below. It keeps going lower or goes back up because I think it'll just keep going lower.
GBP, the pound dollar?
Yeah,
You think it's gonna just keep going down?
well, yeah, because it already hit the stops high. That big pin that what we've been talking about.
But what I'm saying is, I thought it always so like if it went down, I'm thinking it should come back up though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I made mistakes in so many times is that I would see that same shit, and then it just, it already hit the stops high, so they move it down. So this may not reverse until New York, and then you're sitting up all night waiting for this W bottom that breaks, and then it doesn't reverse to New York. So I'm just trying to save you time of sitting in front of the screen for 12 hours a day.
Okay.
So you just fade that stop hunt, that spike, and now you could be taking profit and going to bed instead of sitting up here waiting for this shit to form. Because it's all about time management. Because the longer you sit in front of the screen, the more risk your money takes of losing. Because it's like a casino, Like the more time you hang out in a casino, the more likely you're going to lose your profit
Mm,
or blow your money.
okay.
Hang on one sec. Do you have any other charts you want to go over?
Well, I mean, you said to stick to the major ones, right?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm just trying to see if we can catch anything. Like if there's an example of something we can catch, because I mean, London just opened like an hour and change ago.
yeah.
Let me see. I'm looking for something to show you from the Steve Morrow video that I saw earlier. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So I just sent you something on Facebook, but I'm gonna open it up on my screen.
Okay.
Okay. So you see this on my screen? I mean, this is I took a screenshot of Steve Morrow's video. So this is what we're talking about, right? Like the M top, and then it goes down, and then it consolidates into Asia again.
Hang on, I can't see.
It's really sloppy. Like you
Oh, you're
like
talking about the damn drawing, not a chart?
yeah, I'm talking about the drawing. Yeah, this isn't this is his drawing. So the M top, and then it goes down.
Yeah, but you see, that's all I'm talking about is look, like the drawing is like in a perfect world.
Yeah, no, I
But then
understand.
you go to the chart and you see how the move was up and all they did was pin the low. And you see that slash mark or the crooked slash line, that's the entry, and then it
Right,
keeps going up. But
right
that's
here,
all I'm
right?
trying to tell you is look at the where out of the consolidation, all they did was pin the low and then move up, right? So a lot of people would have thought that move up was the stop hunt, and then that consolidation above the Asia was going to be the M top, but then it broke and it just kept going up. So you can see just the pin to the low, and then that move up, and you see the slash right above that is the entry.
Yeah, this right here.
So
Okay.
yeah, so look how familiar that looks to what we're seeing tonight in the Great British Pound. It's just opposite. It's flipped.
Okay, so I guess what I'm
So
getting
look at
at.
the Great British Pound right now. Like, wait, hang on. What the fuck? Yeah, Great British Pound 15-minute. Look at it. It's the same thing, but it's opposite. It pinned out of the consolidation, just like it did on the picture you posted.
No, what he was talking about was more like the slash would have been like right here. You know what I mean? Like that one he was talking about, but this one's the flip version of it. So what I'm saying is like this is consolidation, this Asia right here.
All I'm saying is like to pin to the low out of your Asia consolidation, your slash mark would be like right where your green line is, and then you make your money and you get out and you're done and you don't have to worry about all this shit. That's all I'm saying.
No, I get you. I'm talking about this one though, because remember we were talking about, so this is the consolidation, and
The
then you were
chart you
saying
have
how
up
this.
right now.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you were,
so
'cause this
that
is
pin to the
what
low, take the trade off the pin to the low and make the money on the way up. Then if it
yeah.
comes down, so be it. But you're already taking profit, so it doesn't matter. So why wait 4 hours to take that trade
No,
where
I'm
your
saying
slash is?
sometimes you miss this. You know what I mean? So what he was saying was to make it like this slash point is the entry point for the way down. That's what I was trying to ask. I was trying to use this illustration because this
Well, no,
slash.
you can. You can take the trade both ways.
Right.
Take whatever you feel comfortable with. Some people want to take up, some people want to take down. But I'm saying for me, I'd rather take the run up. That way you're done, and you don't even care what the hell happens after that because your money's already made. But I'm just trying to tell you what made a lot of mistakes for me is trying to like dig in too much into this rather than just taking that obvious trade, making the money, and be done with it. Then you don't care. I mean, if you're worried about that, if you go to sleep and then you wake up the next morning and you missed a trade because you could have taken it all the way back down, then I don't know. But yeah, you can do. Well, what I'm trying to say is you can do it both ways. because both ways are relevant, you know, because they're the same move, just in the opposite direction, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
That's the
getting.
classic like reversal, session reversal, you know.
Yeah,
But what I'm
that's
saying is, say you and I were sitting around here, let's see, 2 hours earlier, and then the Great British Pound took that or pinned the high to hit the stops, and we took that sell, then you and I would have already made our money and taken profit, rather than waiting to see if this would W bottom and move back up. So that's the point. Is like I lost a lot of money learning, not taking those more subtle stop hunts because I was looking for that more obvious stuff that was in the videos. And so I had to learn the hard way by losing money, you know. So I'm just trying to save people from doing that.
okay. Well,
Because
I'm looking at Euro USD right now, um, and it's shooting up, but it's hitting a level that I have, a support and resistance level right
yeah,
here. So would you think? I don't know. Like, do you think this might this is like the up move, or that this is like
it's the shit move. I would stay away from euro dollar completely
okay?
because it's just that's just bullshit chop. It made no distinct move to the high or the low that would implore me to make a trade on it at all. I mean, it did break consolidation here now out of Asia, but it's still just chop because it's got no. It just seems like it has no direction, you know. So it'd be more of a risk than a reward for me.
Okay, and that's confusing because then
No, it
there's
is confusing. That's why it takes. That's why I told you it took me like 2 years to learn, even after I had this information, because it's not, you know, just because it goes perfectly for Steve in the videos. Like the reason he does that is because he's trying to train you the way he was trained, and then once you know the basics, you're supposed to be able to take that and apply that to, you know, real life, and be able to recognize stuff, and you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to think it's confusing, and that's just natural. You know, it's not a big deal. It's what happens. But then as you go on, you'll start noticing stuff like I mentioned, like just how taking that pin to the low or pin to the high for the 30 to 40, 50 pip move, and then getting out, taking your profit and going to bed or whatever. It's just a lot easier than waiting for that real obvious move, because a lot of times you'll be waiting forever and it won't ever come. So, but yeah, the Euro US dollar, if I was trading tonight, I would just stay away from that pair because it's got no direction.
okay.
But
I was just wondering if this was like the pin outside of the high or something, and then it might drop, or I don't know.
no,
Cause
it could, but the reason I would stay away from it, though, it could drop. The reason I'd stay away from it, though, is because it doesn't seem like there's any money behind this move. You want to stick to moves that have money behind it, that are deliberate moves. So yeah, if it does reverse and drop down slowly over the night, it's not worth it anyway. Just because it's more of more of a gamble than it is a reward, because there's no money behind the move pushing it. So it's more just drifting around than it is anything else right now.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
GBP's coming back up. The dollar, the pound dollar. I don't know, man. I don't know. Usually, though, this one's the one you were saying that might have already happened.
Well, yeah. This is the one that I was saying I would I would have faded the pin high.
Oh, so okay, never mind. Okay.
Yeah, I would have faded that pin outside of, because it broke the Asian range. It broke the Asian range by a couple pips or whatever it is. Sometimes it's only 5 to 7 pips, you know. And then just take the profit off that move down and be done with it. Because then you don't have to sit here and wait for all this stuff. Oops. Yeah, your charts look good on my phone, man. You have some nice charts.
Nice. Yeah, I was worried because you're on your phone, so I was just like, I wasn't even gonna be able to see like the trend line. I'm surprised you can see this
No,
light.
I see the Asian range and then your trend line that the price broke.
Hmm. Okay, so let's just say, okay, like just for example's sake, that this one was like the stop hunt, like that fake out that happens sometimes, when they try to get you in a certain direction, but then they just go down the other way, and then let's say they form an M bottom, right
Yeah.
here, and there's that, and then there's like like where would like how do you recognize that slash mark you were talking about? Like,
All that slash mark is a potential entry.
yeah, I know, but like that's what I'm saying. Like, how do I guess my question is I'm trying to figure out how to get good entry points. So I just don't know.
So
I kind of
in my eyes, the trade here would not be to go long here. They're just chopping for another move down. So like you want to focus your attention on where it broke your Asia line up there. See where it broke your blue line or whatever the color that is,
hmm.
Asia. So then you put your slash mark on the downside of that, like a couple of pips below that. So it's an entry short, not long.
Okay.
And it just takes, dude. I've probably got 10,000 hours behind the screen watching charts. So it's gonna just take time. I mean, I don't know how long you've been studying this stuff, but it's definitely gonna take time. And it's one of those things like just like college. I mean, you can learn all you can in a book, but then you're not going to really learn until you go out there and do, become a doctor. If you're studying to be a doctor or a surgeon, you're not really going to know anything until you actually perform surgeries. It's the
Right.
same thing. So they give you the basics and the knowledge that you need to succeed, and it's up to you to kind of just take that all in but see how aggressively they're moving up the pound dollar right now? Watch, it'll just drop.
But what I'm looking at right now, or the pound dollar? Oh yeah.
The pound dollar. What I'm saying is they're moving aggressively out of consolidation, or that they're trying to trap. But watch, it'll probably just in 15 minutes it'll be back down. But I mean, because that's all the consolidation is that you can see how aggressively they moved price up, like an hour ago. 1, 15, 30, 45 minutes before this bar here that's forming. Just moved it way up, and then it just dropped all the way back down. So what I'm thinking is they're trying to trap longs. They're trying to get people to go long so they can trap them and just make another move down.
Hmm.
This stuff's kind of weird too because it's almost like they have a 15-minute chart opened and they're just like painting the chart intentionally.
Yeah.
But see how aggressively it moved off that high?
Like it went down so fast.
Yeah, look at that. It's dropping. So they made that pin, and I think the next bar will be down, and then eventually it'll break low.
So you only look for these breakouts then? Like you don't trade anything else? Like you don't see good setups on like anything else to trade?
Not tonight, now.
Well, just
I
about
mean,
in general, because you said yesterday that you that like you only do these market maker moves, you know?
yeah, well, I tried to only do the market maker moves, but like tonight, this isn't like a real market maker move. This is like kind of a slow half-ass market maker move. So like the honest play tonight would just be to find something else to do. But if you were actually to place a trade, then the trade would be you should already be short, off the high of day, which is it's just simply that. Like you'd see where Asia consolidated for Great British Pound. The high of day was at Midnight. At midnight. A little after midnight. Where they did that pin. And that's what you have to understand is just because it didn't M top doesn't mean that's not an M top. It's just because they didn't need to stay up there and chop around and keep hitting the high to make the move down. They just made the move because one pin was good enough. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's just where I made a lot of mistakes from the beginning. So. What hours do you usually trade?
Usually London. I try to stay out of Asia session, but like,
Sometimes if you're wanting to learn, I don't know, how long have you been doing this trading totally?
I started with binaries in like October, November, and then I started like looking into Forex like November, December.
Oh, only that dude, you're way ahead of the game. Don't worry about it. Like, I've been doing this shit since like 2008, bro. Like, I did it all the wrong way for like 2 years, and then found the Steve stuff and then started digging into that. And I actually went to like his live course.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and that was pretty cool because people that had been in trading for years, they disagree with like what he teaches and they get all upset and walk out and stuff because he was, speaking the truth basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I've been doing this for a while. I had an account that I built up and then blew it up and then built another one up and used that uh, sort of success to get me a job at a trading firm that went under. So yeah, I've been banging around this stuff for a while, man. That's why I started doing marketing. It's just like so I could, after that trading firm went under, I wanted to be able to build my own bankroll again. So, because one of the key things too is when you're trading is to start out with a substantial bankroll, because it doesn't matter how great of a trader you are. Um, to think that you can take $1,000 and build it into $1 million. Can it happen? Yes. Will it? Probably not. Because like most people, you need that money to live off. So if you have that stress of um, needing to take money out from profits to live on, then you have the stress of needing to make profits, and that's what causes you to make mistakes. So you need to have an account. Like if you want to really, really, really take this seriously, you need to have a $250,000 trading account, and only risk 5% per trade, and then you're that way you can peel off money weekly. That's substantial enough to live off,
I gotcha.
And I'm still not back at that level, so not anywhere near.
How often do you trade? And like what sessions do you trade?
I only trade a couple times a week, bro. Like when I first started, though, I traded every session, every day. I never slept, because I was just excited to learn and get as much time in as I could, which paid off. But, that's why now it's like, I learned to take those moves, like we were speaking about earlier, where you just fade the pin instead of waiting around for the more obvious trades. Because a lot of times I'd find myself staying up waiting for that more obvious trade to form, only to watch it fail or not be able to take a trade at all, and then next thing you know, you haven't slept in 2 days, and it's
Yeah.
you didn't even make a dime. So because it's all about emotion and frustration. Like if you bring a bunch of emotion and frustration into it, it just makes your trading experience completely the opposite of what it's supposed to be, which is pleasant.
Okay. So, I mean, do you usually just do London then? Like just New York? Do you ever do like New York or Sydney or the Tokyo
I
one?
never do New York anymore. No, I'm a nighttime person.
Yeah, me
So
too.
usually if it doesn't move in Asia or London, I don't trade. Because
Okay.
I'm not about waking up at 8 a.m.
Yeah, me either.
I'm not about that life.
Yeah, me either, man.
I hate mornings, bro. And then, when I do wake up for those trading sessions, it's usually like on FOMC, but I'm in a bad mood because I just hate mornings.
Yeah, I feel you.
I wasn't born to be a morning person. But you can still see too if you're still watching the Great British Pound US dollar, they're still chopping that shit up.
Yeah.
But you can see where they're trying to trap those long holders. You know, but I'll put it out on the line now. It's gonna go down again, even though like everything in your body is telling you it's gonna go up. I think it's gonna go down. So it's just they're pinning that high, and that just is more confirmation to me that that's what they're gonna do is move it down.
I mean, it seems like there's a level somewhere around here, man.
What do you mean? What'd you say?
Like there seems to be like a support and resistance level somewhere around here. I mean, you got a touch right here, you got a touch right here.
Well, yeah. Look, switch it to 1 hour, and then put your cursor at 1.5112.
1.5112.
Yep. And then look, see that old consolidation? That's why it's stopping at that level.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, just
move your cursor up.
cursor like
There, like down, down, down. Put it right at that red line where you have those pins. Right there, yeah. Look, old consolidation.
Yeah, I got a level right here.
From right before that move up, that's why it's stopping at that level. It's old consolidation, meaning there's old liquidity there, so it hit that liquidity.
So what do you mean exactly when you say liquidity?
It's a liquidity. It's like old stop loss orders or limit orders. You know, just people that put orders into the market that are still hanging around. You know.
Oh, I got you.
See, here's the thing: is you see that move up before all that. So if the person caught that move up, right, then their stop loss orders are going to be in an obvious area.
This up? Or this up? Or are you talking about this one?
The one at the end, the last substantial move up, or whatever if you want to call it that.
This one?
Yeah, where your cursor is, yeah.
Yeah.
So see that consolidation, and then it hit the stops low, and then it moved up. So right above that consolidation, that's a good place where people are going to put their stop loss orders. Meaning the people that are long are going to put their stop loss orders a little bit into profit, right? So that way, if the market turns against them, they won't lose money, but they're not going to make much, right? So that's why you got to bounce there. It's because it hit old orders, right? And so when the market hits old orders, it triggers those orders and reverses the market a little bit. So that's why you get those pins and stalls and consolidation. Because the market's just in constant search of liquidity. So when it hits that, it reverses off that, or before it can either continue down or move in the opposite direction.
So do you ever follow like candle patterns or anything like that? Like pin bars or dojis or like gold.
Well, yeah, like I just told you tonight, that pin to the high, you know.
Oh, okay, well, other than that, then.
What's that?
I guess other than that, do you?
I mean, yeah, I follow basic price action, you know.
So I think that's pretty much all. Those are all my questions.
That's cool, bro. Yeah, we can do another session next week, man. I just wanted to, since we had a bad audio last night, I just wanted to follow up with you, you know.
I gotcha.
Just hit me up with my inbox anytime, man. You know, I always answer. So
yeah,
if I'm sleeping, I'll answer it when I wake up.
Do you want me to should I just stop the recording real quick?
Yeah, just stop it, and then it'll start uploading to your YouTube channel.
Okay. Let me see.